Into the Badlands, Force of Eagle's Claw. Into the Badlands, Force of Eagle's Claw. I felt that I was okay with the episode. Honestly, I thought the episode was okay. I thought it could have been so much better. I don't know, how the story is going on and the storylines that are happening right now in the future of this season. Some of it's interesting, and some of it's what the hell, and it's maybe not as impactful as the first season. I could already tell already. Sunny's situation, being hooked up with Nick Frost, it's so funny. I was watching Shaun of the Dead before I actually watched this episode, and Sunny in these past two episodes, man, he is such a dick. I mean, sometimes I'm just what? Why are you such a dick to Nick Frost? He's telling you you're not listening, and I get that he wants to find his baby mama, but dude, you cannot get in this world without at least some help. You should know that by now. You're the one that taught MK. Speaking of MK, I don't like this whiny little brat, but in this episode, when he fights within himself, right? He fights within himself in this episode. He's learning a little bit more with the master, and he's getting a little bit better as a character. But in the very beginning of this episode, I just did not like his whininess. He's still the same MK from last season. I'm hoping that he's like an Ezra Bridger, where he's kind of annoying and he's a kid, but he's gonna start growing into a mature adult and realize I must be one with the Force, and the Force is one with me. Interesting was the Baron's ex-wife, Ryder's mom, being introduced in this episode, and where she's at in life, and where she's at with her father. It's always great to see Bishop pop. He's getting old. Bishop is getting old. We see Ryder and his mother, their interaction, and it's not a very pleasant one. There's some good interactions in this episode, honestly. Tilda with Stephen Lang, the guy who was in Avatar, their interaction was really good. He was explaining, he was talking about Sunny and how much he pretty much misses Sunny. He knows Sunny was the best clipper of them all until he kind of screwed it up. But you could tell, you get the sense of him really missing Sunny. And then Tilda, you get the sense of her missing MK, and it was great to see them talk about it, because Tilda, had that relationship with MK. And I'll be honest with you, I don't even remember the season finale at last year. The only thing I remember was the Baron getting stabbed, somebody helping him out, but apparently it was Sunny's baby mama that helped him out, stitched him up. And then I don't even know how Sunny got captured, and I don't know how MK went into this monastery, this monk kind of village. I don't remember all that. Here's the thing, the Baron has so many followers. Quinn has so many followers in his little reign. It's he has this underground kind of ninja society, so to speak, and and Sunny's baby's mama is free to go. She's not a captive, honestly, even though she kind of is. But he's saying you can go, but if you go outside that world, your baby Henry is going to die. He's just pretty much saying hey, I'll take care of you. Help me, I'm going to help you. So I mean, where did that happen? Where did all that come from? So in this episode, there's that particular moment in this episode. So there's really kind of, I don't know how all this happened. How did this all happen to Quinn? How does he get all these people to rally with him? And how does Sunny get into that prison? And what's the deal? What's the dealio? I do think Sunny and Nick Frost's relationship is really good. It's back and forth, opposites together. It works a lot. I think Nick Frost is funny. He's a humorous character. It's very funny. He got big, man. He got bigger than Shaun of the Dead. But he's still moving. He's still moving. My man's still moving. I want to see definitely the Widow more. The Widow is the most, I think, the interesting character so far. I think Sunny needs a haircut. I think Sunny's character, he's just not the vocal point of this series right now, when there's a lot of different characters weaving and tangling into the plot. And I felt this episode, the reason why I was kind of turned off by it was there's actually a lot of goofy moments in here, and it was kind of so funny. It's hilarious. There's one particular part where MK is fighting MK, if you believe that. The fight choreography, he's on a tree, but his legs are hooked on a tree, and he's just fighting with this. It just looks goofy. It looks way too kind of the hidden tiger, hidden dragon movie. I would always was a Bruce Lee fan, and I always loved Bruce Lee saying like realistic is the way to go. And what was so great about the season 1 Into the Badlands is that they had realistic yet those kind of martial arts movies where they're flying in the air, but it was balanced. It was so balanced and it was so well done. Them flying in the air didn't really call for it unless they really had to, and it was more realistic with the fighting, the taijutsu of everything. I felt like the fight choreography is just not living up to the hype of the show. I think it could be honestly better. It's just not as good as that first season, maybe because it was the first season, but that's what I felt like in this episode, where the fight sequences could have just been a lot better. I'm still definitely interested in Sunny, Quinn's character. Quinn is a great villain, but even MK, like, I'm interested to see if they will mature this character and this actor will be a very likable character than this little fucker. There was a lot of just funny moments which I couldn't believe, and not in a good way, and there's a lot of things that I think could improve going forward, but there's a lot of setup also that's happening, and I think we're going to move forward to maybe some better things, and hopefully that we get some more explanation on why everything is like this. Like, I get, okay, yeah, there's a lot of things people are they're in this position because they were put in maybe in a finale, or we just don't know. There's a little gap where we don't know what happened from here to there, but I hopefully they explain it just a little bit more in the future episodes. So thank you guys for listening. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. Like the video if you like it, comment below. Love to hear you guys' thoughts. I am Dan the Man, aka Daniel's son, and I will see you guys later. Into the Badlands.